All right, we are live in beautiful sunny Florida, and today, fight fans, we're going to be breaking down UFC 262 Oliveira versus Chandler for the vacant lightweight championship. That is right, Khabib has officially vacated. Now they put together this fight. I'm sure they probably tried to get Poirier in this title fight, but there's more money in a Connor fight, so I understand why it's Oliveira versus Chandler. There's no doubt in my mind that either guy didn't deserve this or anything like that. I mean, talk about paying dues. Michael Chandler, I mean, shit, dude. It feels like I've been watching him in Wars and Bellator for a decade now. And Charles Oliveira, I mean, shit. I mean, I remember watching him get subbed by Jim Miller, which feels like almost a decade ago now. It's crazy. And Oliveira is still so young too. What's up, Death Taxes MMA? Great main event. Happy to see both guys get this chance, and I'm really excited to see who pulls it off and becomes the champion, man. Because like, if Khabib didn't retire, these guys wouldn't stand a chance. Let's be honest here. And we'll talk about it when the time comes. But as far as how Dustin Poirier matches up with both these guys in the main event, I like Poirier's chances. So I think Poirier is about to have himself a big year after he wins this trilogy against Connor. Let's just say that. But first things first, I want to apologize for missing last week. It's just been busy for me, busy 2 weeks actually. Uh, got my dad's wedding in 2 days. I'm the best man. There's a lot of work that goes into shit like that. So couldn't miss this one though. I mean, this is a great pay-per-view, great main event, title fight. Got Tony and Beneil in the co-main. Couldn't miss this one, guys. I'm very excited to talk about it. Oh, and I got 5 bets. That's right. I got 5 fucking bets. Won't be able to watch the fights live, but yeah, man. Excited to see how those go. So without further ado, first fight of the night, a very newly made fight. We got the return of Sean Soriano. He's taking on Christos Giagos. Giagos minus 205. You can get Sean Soriano plus 175 in most places. Yeah, I'd stay away from that. I think the line's probably about right at Giagos, like 70% ish. Like Soriano, firstly, he's a featherweight, so I just feel like that's going to be a disadvantage right off the bat. Then mix in the fact that Yagos is going to be trying to wrestle and grappling him and having, that extra weight, being the bigger guy, the more natural lightweight. I just think I don't want to say it'll be easier for him, but it's just favorable. And then the thing, like Giago's biggest fault is his cardio. I've seen Sean Soriano gas out and get subbed late many times. So I feel like this is one of the spots where, I mean, if Giagos is gassed, fucking Soriano might be gassed right there next to him. So I like Christos Giagos in this fight. As far as Draftkings, like, I mean, shit, dude, he has the potential to put up a lot of takedowns, a lot of control time. So I'm gonna have my eye on Giagos and DraftKings. I'm not even sure if they updated the salaries for that yet, but y'all know we get to the DraftKings salaries at the end. So I'm gonna say official pick Giagos. I'm gonna say he edges out decision. I'll say 29-28 UD. I'll give Soriano a round. Next fight, Kevin Aguilar taking on Tucker Lutz. Pretty close to a pick 'em, slight lean on Lutz. He is minus 118, Aguilar minus 102. Yeah, man. I mean, if they would have had this kid Tucker Lutz coming in here off Contender Series, making his debut against Kevin Aguilar, maybe like pre-COVID, Aguilar would be a big favorite here. But damn, the way he showed up against Charles Rosa in that fight, like, shit, dude, that was really bad. Like, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like, I've been watching this sport for over a decade, and when it comes to guys that I know can do certain things, because I mean, what the fuck? Kevin Aguilar was what, 18-1, had some big knockouts, had some big wins, earned his way to the UFC, started off what 2-0, 3-0 in the UFC, and then I mean, he got knocked out by Takugov, and then he looked like shit against Rosa. He looked, let's be honest, he looked fat against Rosa. It was just, oh, it was not good. Not good. So factoring that in, I think Tucker Lutz may have the style to beat Aguilar here. Oh man, it really pains me to say it because I really liked Kevin Aguilar a lot back in the day, but I think Tucker Lutz might be the rightful favorite here. And you can call it recency bias, but like fact of the matter is Kevin Aguilar looked like shit last time out. So I gotta see it to believe it that he's back to his old form, and I'm just not sure he will be. I'm gonna go with the younger, hungrier Tucker Lutz to win a decision. So moving on to the next fight, we got Gina Mazani. She's going to be taking on Priscilla Cachoeira. And Gina Mazani, I want to say, is the biggest favorite on the card, which is something I probably never thought I'd say. She is minus 220, taking on Priscilla, plus 185. I like this fight for DraftKings. I'll say that. I also do think Gina Mazani is the rightful favorite. Um, yeah, I like it for DraftKings because I feel like if Mazani wins, she's going to be exposing that takedown defense of Priscilla, and she's probably gonna, ragdoll her, throw her around, get some top control, a lot of points. And on the flip side, I don't like the way Gina Mazani reacts to being hit. I don't think she's the most durable. I don't think she's. I don't want to disrespect her, but I don't know if she's the strongest mentally. Priscilla is. She's a fighter, man, and she's gonna give it her best effort in there. I mean, I feel like even when Gina gets her down, there's going to be not that much of a jujitsu threat. So I feel like Priscilla could extend it, possibly get back up, maybe just ride it out till the next round, get some more opportunities next round. I don't know, man. This line seems off to me. I think Priscilla is live now. I actually bet on Priscilla Cachoeira against Shayna Dobson, and I could not believe the line. She was like plus 200 against Shayna Dobson, which is just one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. But anyway, um, yeah, I mean, it's just hard to ignore that Priscilla has pretty bad takedown defense. So I will lean with the wrestler. I'll say Gina gets it done by decision, but I think the value is on Cachoeira, and I think you should play both sides on DraftKings. So moving on to the next fight, we got this one's getting a lot of talk on Twitter, man. This is Antonina Shevchenko. She is minus 125. She's taken on Andrea KGB Lee, who is plus 105. A lot of money coming in on Andrea Lee. And I guess that's just really because we know Shevchenko, not the good Shevchenko, this Shevchenko, the brunette Shevchenko. We know her wrestling's not the greatest. We know her get up game's not the greatest. And we've seen Andrea KGB Lee wrestle in the past. She can land takedowns. So I get it to a degree, but I'm going to disagree with the majority of people. I'm going to go with Antonina. I think she is the rightful favorite. I mean, man, I got to favor her. I don't know about heavily, but I've definitely favored her comfortably on the feet, definitely in the clinch. And when it comes to the ground game, like, yeah, KGB will have that wrestling advantage. But when it comes to career trajectories, like I'm seeing improvements from Shevchenko. Like her last fight against Lipsky, like she out grappled her. I mean, I know Lipsky's kind of not that great, but at least we saw the improvements. At least we saw that she was trying, and she's clearly making the right steps. Whereas Andrea Lee, not looking good at all her last few fights. Ever since that shit happened with her boyfriend, husband, whoever the fuck he was, ever since all that shit happened in the personal life, it's not been good. Not only that, guys. So let me pull up the stats real quick. I believe the last time Andrea Lee won a UFC fight via wrestling, I think you got to look all the way back to it's the Veronica Macedo fight, her debut actually, where she took down Macedo 3 times. There was a lot of top control. Next fight, she just outstruck Ashley Evans Smith. Next fight, she just outstruck Montana. And then she went on to lose her next 3. So it's like, we haven't seen this girl wrestle somebody to a decision and since May 2018, and it was Veronica Macedo. So it's like, y'all really are comfortable with trusting Andrea Lee? I don't know, man. Obviously on DraftKings, she's a huge underdog on DraftKings, so there's probably value on Andrea Lee there, but I think all the betting value is gone. So I'm going to go with Shevchenko to take a decision here. Moving on to the next one. Here we go. So we got my first bet here. We got Jamie Pickett. He's going to be taking on Jordan, the Beverly Hills Ninja Wright. The line, I believe, is still currently sitting at a pick 'em. We got Jamie Pickett is still minus 105. Jordan Wright minus 115. I took that minus 105 on Jamie Pickett, man. I mean, I'm always going to be looking very hard at fading Jordan Wright. He is not good. I'm surprised he's in the UFC. I mean, he really only got in the UFC because they needed a short notice opponent for Ike Villanueva. Forget who his original opponent was, but jeez, man. I mean, he was on the contender, got blown out of the water in like 30 seconds by Fluffy Hernandez. Came into the UFC. He got a doctor stoppage against a bottom of the barrel guy, and then took a little bit of a step up against Buckley. And I mean, Buckley, he blew him out of the water. And now I think Jamie Pickett probably is a little bit of a step down from Buckley. However, and I don't think highly of Jamie Pickett, guys. Full disclosure here, like, I don't think Jamie Pickett's going to be some top 30, 40, or maybe even 50 middleweight in the world. However, based on how these guys match up, so far in Jordan Wright's career, he has shown to be a knockout or bust kind of guy. He's never been past the 6-minute mark. All his wins are by knockout. You look through that record, man. I mean, shit, he's beat like 3 people with winning records. Jamie Pickett has never been knocked out. He's shown a good chin in all of his fights. He's been cracked clean. Don't get me wrong, but like, he definitely has a lot of holes in his game. Like, I'm not denying any of that, but one thing I'll say is he's durable, man. So, I mean, shit, if he's not going to get knocked out by Jordan Wright here, I feel like he's the much better fighter. I feel like he's going to tag the chin of Jordan Wright, who's been, brutalized multiple times now. Yeah, and not only that, wrestling. I feel like Jamie Pickett can land some takedowns here. We've seen him do that too. So I feel like the pick'em odds, I like Jamie Pickett a lot. He should probably be more like minus 150. It's risky. I only put 2 units on it. I mean, JB Pickett's not the greatest, so I had to go a little bit lighter. There is the chance he gets smoked here. Not gonna lie. And I will say, Wright was looking a little bit improved in that Buckley fight until he got hurt real bad. So we'll see. But I got Pickett here. I think the line's a little bit off. He should be a good sized favorite. So we'll see what happens. Let's go Pickett. So moving on to the next fight, which is going to be another bet of mine. We got Mike Grundy. He's going to be taking on Lando Vannata. Grundy, you can find minus 125. Lando plus 105-ish. Give me a sec, guys. So yeah, this is another one where I want to talk about cardio, because like people have brought up how Mike Grundy has slowed down late in fights. He doesn't have the greatest cardio. I mean, he's fighting another guy with not the greatest cardio. So again, like, worst case scenario, if my guy gasses out here, Lando Vannata is going to be gassed right along with him. And I don't like the move to 145 for Lando. Like, I get that he's probably in better shape and the cardio could be better, but I just view it as he's cutting an extra 10 pounds, and we know how that affects some of these guys with their durability. I've seen it fuck guys' cardio up too. Yeah, I'm just not sold on Lando, man. Like, he has not been looking good. You look at the guys he's been beating too. It's like Yancey, who is like on the brink of fucking retirement. Like, that was a awful showing by Yancey in that fight. Let me get these stats up real quick. So he beat Yancey. His win before that was Marcos Mariano, who, if y'all don't know who he is, he's the jobber that Anderson Silva got in the UFC somehow. And I mean, before that Mariano fight, his last win before that was fucking John McDessie way back 5 years ago. Guys, Lando's been in the UFC for 5 years. He's got 3 wins. He's every single fight that he's got taken down in, he's lost. Let me make sure. Okay, so I take that back. Every fight that he's got taken down in, he hasn't won. Because you look, he got taken down by Bobby Green in their first fight. It was a draw. Got taken down by Frivola in their fight twice. It was a draw. But Mariano fight, he didn't get taken down. Medeiros fight, he didn't get taken down. McDessie fight, he didn't get taken down. Tamor, who beat him, took him down twice. Jacare Close, who beat him, took him down. Mark Diakese, who beat him, took him down 4 times. And then his most recent fight, Bobby Green. Took him down 3 times. Sorry, guys. I'm a little sniffly here. It's the allergies. But, yeah, I feel like Mike Grundy's got a huge wrestling advantage. He's probably going to take advantage of that. And he's going to do his thing here. I mean, yeah, there's a chance he gets knocked out. But, I mean, when we're looking at odds and probabilities, I give Mike Grundy at least a 60-70% chance to win this fight. So if you're going to give me close to pick 'em odds, I'm all about that. And, Mike Grundy's a great fighter, too. Like, his boxing is good. That gym is doing really well. Team Calbon, is that it is? Sorry if I butchered that name. That's where Tom Aspinall and Darren Till train as well. I mean, that gym's doing good, man. I mean, shit, Grundy almost submitted Masvar at his, what was that, his last fight or 2 fights ago? But I like Grundy, man. I think he should take this fight. So moving on, and I have 3 units on minus 120, by the way. So we're going to move on to the next one here. We got Ronaldo Jacare Souza taking on Andre Muniz. Give me 1 sec, guys. So this is an interesting one. So it's kind of like both guys are super high level black belts. Of course, I'm gonna love to see this fight hit the mat if it happens to, because I mean these scrambles might be legit. One thing to note though, Muniz is 10 years younger. Take that for what it's worth. It might come down to who has the better striking, and I'm just not really sure. I guess Jacare, just because of all the experience. I've seen him knock people out. I've seen him land big shots. I mean, knocked out Derek Brunson twice, knocked out Chris Weidman. I mean, Jacare's got fucking hands. So, I mean, kind of with the experience, I give him a slight edge in striking. Got to favor Jacare there, but on the flip side, Muniz is 10 years younger. Probably would be a little bit faster. Man, this is just a really fucking tough one to call. I'm not really sure how to call it, just because like I give both guys like an equal amount of advantages. I'm gonna go with Jacare. Love me some Jacare. I'd love to see him get one more big win before he heads on out. He's 41 years old. Who knows how much he has left? This could be his last fight, and I feel like perfect case scenario is he gets a big win here and sails off to new horizons. So I'm gonna go with Jacare Souza. Man, it's hard to say he'll submit Muniz, who's so good. I don't know if I'll knock him out. Man, it's just really hard to gauge how this fight's gonna go. But I'll say Jacare edges the decision here. I'll say Muniz has a good showing, but I'll go with Jacare. So we're on to the main card. Moving on to the next fight. Shane Burgos taking on Edson Barboza. Love, love, love this fight. I have a bet on this fight. So odds, they are Shane Burgos minus 142, Edson Barboza plus 122. I did not take either of those routes. I bet on this fight to not go to decision. I bet it at plus 130. It's plus 125 now. Yeah, it's like I feel like both guys bring heavy, heavy firepower. And on the flip side, both guys are very questionable when it comes to defense and durability. So I feel like with the way Shane Burgos fights, his pressure style, he knows Edson does not do well with pressure. I feel like Shane is going to come at Edson, very hard, very fast. And I think he's going to get to Edson, or he's going to get countered by Edson and fall trying. So I think this fight ends very early. We'll see what happens. It's hard for me to pick a winner. I guess I'll go with Burgos just because this is the style that Edson has kind of struggled with in the past. He's bigger, he's younger, but damn, that fight that Burgos is coming off against Emmett, I mean, that could have been like a life changer, but he did take the right amount of time off. So I don't know. This is just a hard one to call. I'd rather just sit back, play both sides on DraftKings, bet that doesn't go to decision. But I will slightly edge the younger Shane Burgos to knock out Edson Barboza here. So I got 2 units on that at plus 130. So moving on to the next fight, we got Katlyn Chookagian taking on Vivi Araujo. The odds on this one, we got Araujo. She is plus 115. Chookagian minus 135. I took a 3-unit shot on Vivi Araujo here. I've always been a big fan of this girl. I think she has well above average power for a woman fighter, especially a 125er. Um, and she's got skills on the mat too. Like this girl can grapple, and it's not even just power. Like there's technique behind it. There's no question of skill with Vivi Araujo. This girl is very good. Very good. Her problem is her cardio historically, and I'll be honest. I feel like it's getting a little bit better now. How these girls match up, though, I feel like this is a great spot to bet VV at dog money just because I feel like worst case scenario here is that VV loses a very close decision. I feel like she's going to be landing the more powerful shots on the feet. I could see, I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to shoot in this fight, but I think it's pretty well matched there, wrestling and grappling wise. So we'll see. That might cancel out. We'll probably get a 15-minute kickboxing match, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, is Chookagian really going to be able to punch the air on her way to a win here? I'm just not sure. I just feel like there's going to be a lot more power coming from Araujo's side. Damn, I wish I had my notes on me. I had a lot more to say, but yeah, I mean, I think Araujo's got this one. So a dog money and a close fight plus 120. I'm all about it. So let's go Araujo, and I'll say she takes it by I'll say Chook Weasels 1 round. I'll give Vivi a 29-28 unanimous. So moving on to the next one, we got, man, interesting that this fight is so high up on the card. We got Matt Schnell. He's taking on Rogerio Bontorin. I got Matt Schnell in this fight, man. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of recency bias behind that, just because we saw Bontorin knocked out a couple months ago. Not a good look. Schnell, he got a win over Tyson Nam, but we all know that if Tyson Nam doesn't knock you out, he's going to lose the decision. So I get why people are on Bontorin here, but I just think Schnell's the better fighter. I feel like he's the better point striker. Like he's probably going to be able to. He's bigger too. He's got a reach. I feel like he's just going to outpoint Bontorin here. Now, there's always the question about Schnell's chin. The way he got knocked out by those hammer fists from what's his name way back in the day. Damn, that dude hasn't been in the UFC so long that I forgot his damn name. But anyway, y'all know the fight I'm talking about. And then the Rob Font knockout. People were highly questioning the chin of Matt Schnell, and somehow my laptop got unplugged. So I want to make sure I don't die on you guys here. But all right, I think we're good. Anyway, I feel like I don't want to say he put those chin concerns to bed, but like we haven't seen it lately. Like, yeah, he got knocked out against Pantoja too, but that was kind of like a fight IQ problem. Like he brawled with Pantoja. Like, why are you gonna sit there and brawl with Pantoja? You know, he fought much smarter the next fight, so I think he learned his lesson. He'll fight smarter here. I feel like he's a good enough grappler to not get destroyed on the mat by Bontorin. So I'm going to go with Schnell to edge a close one here. I wouldn't bet him at minus 160, but I'm going to take him as my pick pretty solidly. So moving on to the co-main event, we got Beneil Dariush. He's taking on Tony Ferguson. The line is currently sitting, if I can find this here, Beneil minus 185, Tony plus 150. I got in on Beneil at minus 150, so I'm happy I moved in when I did. This is just it. I don't like what I see from Tony. Honestly, like it's not good. Like his fight style all these years, all the wars he gave us, you know, the Edson War, the Land of Vannata War, even the fucking Pettis fight, man. He was getting rocked by Anthony Pettis recently. And I mean, I feel like it all kind of added up, and Gaethje was like the culmination of that. And man, the way he was stumbling around in the end of that Gaethje fight was some scary shit, man. And was not good. Like it made me scared for Tony. All the shit Tony's gone through mentally in his personal life too. It's just like it's really tough. It kind of makes me feel for Tony because he's such a warrior. He's such a good fighter too, but he's almost 40. Things are not looking good. On the flip side, Beneil Dariush has been performing to a great level, man. Like he's been looking great in his fights, his striking, his power, his jiu-jitsu, his wrestling. I mean, you name it. Coming off a good win against Carlos Diego Ferreira, who you just saw Gregor Gillespie had to go through some shit to beat Carlos Diego Ferreira. I mean, Beneil didn't have to go through too much shit. I mean, he did a pretty damn good job here, and I feel like not only is it the career trajectories, it's like the matchup too. It's not even just this Charles do Bronx fight that just happened with Tony. Like you can go way back and look at Tony's wrestling, and he's had problems with wrestling almost his entire career, man. And Beneil Dariush, he's a good one, and not only that, like I know Tony's got the great bottom game. He's got great jiu-jitsu. I agree with you guys. He does. He's a great jiu-jitsu player. He's great on bottom. However, we just saw in his last fight that can be nullified by a high-level black belt in Oliveira. Beneil Dariush is a high-level black belt, so I don't think he's going to get caught by any bullshit from Tony Ferguson on the bottom. I don't think he's going to get swept or reversed or anything like that. I feel like Beneil, if he fights smart here, does his thing, he should he should be able to hold down Tony. I also feel like he's going to be able to put some power on Tony on the feet. There's always going to be questions with Beneil because we've seen him A, gassed in the past, B, not the greatest chin in the world. However, I just feel like with the way this fight's going to go, like if he's able to take down Tony and rest on top, he should be fine. Like he shouldn't gas out. And I feel like Tony's most likely path is a knockout here. He does have great boxing. He does have big power. Go back and rewatch that Gaethje fight. Tony, he rung Gaethje's bell really hard. Arguably got saved by the bell in that fight. Like Tony still got power. We all know power is one of the last things to go. So I think if Tony wins this fight, it will be by knockout. I just don't think Benny's going to give him that many chances as long as he fights smart. So yeah, I'll take the minus 150 on Benny, 3 units, and say he gets a unanimous decision. Give me 1 sec. Whew, sorry, guys. Dealing with some allergies here. So, main event of the evening, we got Michael Chandler. He's taking on Charles do Bronx Oliveira for the vacant lightweight championship. And holy fuck, guys. Like, I just do not know who to pick in this fight. I love both guys, man. Chandler, it was really, really cool to see Chandler after such a long, credited Bellator career for him to come over to the UFC and absolutely smoke Dan Hooker to a point where, I mean, holy fuck, man. Not many people were picking Chandler by round 1 KO in that fight. I think even Chandler backers were thinking he was going to wrestle Hooker for 3 rounds, but goddamn, he fucking smoked Hooker. He's got power in his hands. He's got wrestling. Now, in this fight, he's probably not going to want to wrestle just because, I mean, do I even have to say it? Charles has the most submissions in UFC history. That means you don't want to go to the mat with this guy. So, I think Chandler needs to use his wrestling in reverse. So, stuff the takedowns, which, I mean, he's a high-level wrestler. He should be able to stuff the takedowns and pressure do Bronx on the feet, try to land some of that power. We've seen power land on do Bronx in the past, and he didn't like that shit. Not only that, a lot of the wins on his current win streak, it's like he's blowing these guys out of the water. Like he doesn't have to go through too much adversity. And like, man, like if he has to go through some shit in this fight, like Michael Chandler thrives way more in wars. Like we've seen it for like a decade now against the Eddie Alvarez wars. Like all these fights, man, like, oh, if this fight turns into a war, I gotta favor Chandler. Oh man. But the thing is, like, yeah, he's got power on the feet, but he's kind of limited, if that makes sense. Like his boxing is, it's all right. Doesn't have too much besides the boxing, like other than hands. Like if these two guys were to kickbox 4 years ago, I think Michael Chandler would have knocked him out. Now, in 2021, I love what I've seen from Charles do Bronx standing. Like, I think his striking has evolved a lot. He's got power. He's got a lot of tools. I mean, shit, dude, his striking is really fucking good. Like, I think it's probably even better than Michael Chandler's. I would just give Michael Chandler the power advantage. So, yeah, I mean, so I think these guys are going to stand. I'm not sure if Charles is going to want to shoot right away on a fresh Chandler. I think we're going to see a striking battle in the first round. How do I see that first round playing out? I see Do Bronx out striking Michael Chandler as long as Do Bronx doesn't get his bell rung. You know, he gets dropped, hurt, knocked out. I think if we get a 5-minute first round, striking wise, Do Bronx will outpoint him. I don't think the 25-minute fight is going to go on like completely like that. I think if it gets extended, maybe then Do Bronx looks for opportunities to get it to the ground. And yeah, man, I just feel like Michael Chandler probably needs an early knockout here, or else this fight will eventually hit the mat and he's going to get subbed or even knocked out. And not only that, guys, like Michael Chandler's shown some cardio issues in the past. Like he's slowed down before, he has been knocked out before, he has been finished before. Oh, this is so close to call, but I'm going to go with Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. I think he is a slight favorite for a reason. I mean, y'all just heard me ramble there and try to put all this shit through my head how this fight's going to go. It's incredibly hard to call, but I think the line is right. I'll go with Charles to take this moment. We'll see if he is able to go through some shit here. Maybe he doesn't even need to go through some shit. Maybe this will be smooth sailing like a lot of his other fights. We don't know. We will see. It's going to be very exciting to find out what a main event. So, my official pick, I'm going to go Charles Du Bronx Oliveira to submit Michael Chandler in round 3. So, that's it for me, guys. Real quick, I'm going to break down my 5 bets, talk about the Draftkings slate. So, my 5 bets, I have 3 units on Mike Grundy, minus 120, 3 units on Beneil Dariush, minus 150. 3 units on Vivi Araujo, plus 120, 2 units on Jamie Pickett, minus 105, and 2 units on Edson Barboza, Shane Burgos fight to not go to decision. So there's my 5 bets. That's 13 units. That's a big night for me. Now let's take a look at this DraftKings slate because it is very, very interesting. Like, I mean, we look at this card, there's not a lot of big favorites on this card. Like, all these fights are lined close except for the Mazani one, and even that one probably should be lined a lot closer. So let's take a look here. Mazani is the highest favorite on DraftKings, 9,300. I mean, you still have to pay that. Like, don't go crazy. But you have to stick Mazani in some lineups because that wrestling upside is there. I mean, shit, dude. She scored 117 points against Yanan Wu, and she scored 138 points against Rachel Ostovich. That's the kind of upside you want, man. So I know it's a bum. Like, Gina Mazani's not a good fighter, and she's 9,300, and that's going to sway some people away. But, I mean, shit, dude, you got to play Gina Mazani on DraftKings, I think. So, Antonina, Shevchenko, 9,200. I mean, other than the Lipsky fight, like, if this fight was pre-Lipsky, I'd want nothing to do with it because her decision wins are pretty awful, like, score-wise, I should say. But she scored 115 against Lipsky. She got the round 2 finish. I don't think she's going to be able to finish Andrea Lee here. I think it's going to be a decision. So I will say Antonina Shevchenko 9,200 is not worth playing on DraftKings. Christos Giagos 9,100. Let's look at some of his scores. Got 110 way back in the day, 95 against Hirota, 92 against Amir, 92 against Minus. So yeah, I mean, that covers the 9,100, so he absolutely can pay off his salary here. Again, I wouldn't go crazy, but I think Giagos might be a pretty damn good play for DraftKings. Like, pretty favorable matchup. I mean, he's fighting a featherweight who has historically had troubles with grappling in the past, so yeah, Giagos is probably a good fucking play on DraftKings. Moving on, Matt Schnell, 8,900. I mean, I don't think he's going to finish Bontorin. I think it's going to be more of a outpointing for 3 rounds. So I will say Matt Schnell is not worth playing at 8,900. Katlyn Chookagian, 8,800. Y'all already know what I'm about to say here. I mean, the only time she's ever scored high was against Antonina Shevchenko, and that's because she was exposing the ground game of Antonina. I mean, she's not going to expose the ground game of Araujo here. Araujo is, she's much better on the ground than that chick. So we're going to get a kickboxing match. Even if Chook wins, it's going to be a low score. So I will say Chookagian is not worth playing at 8,800. Charles Oliveira, 8,700. That is absolutely worth playing. No secret there, though. This is a 5-round main event where both guys have very high potential to score. So obviously, both sides will be played heavily by the field on this one. So yeah, obviously, Dubronk's 8,700. That's worth playing. Beneil Dariush, 8,600. So some of his scores, when he's getting a first-round finish, he's over 100. 105 in a decision win against Moises, but goddamn, he held down Moises like that whole time. And who knows, maybe he can do that to Tony. We just saw Tony get held down by Dubronk, so maybe he knocks him out too. 95 points against Fahea last time. And I do like Benny quite a bit in this fight, so I will say Beneil Dariush 8,600 is worth playing. Jacare 8,500. I mean, dude. I have a hard time seeing him finishing Muniz. I think if Jacare wins this a decision, let's see some of his decision wins. Damn, what's the last time Jacare won a decision, guys? Let's look this up real quick. Because I'm looking at all his recent DK scores. It's all finishes. I'm looking to see what he got in a decision win, but has Jacare KO over Chris Weidman, KO Brunson, submission Boach, TKO Vitor, armbar Kamosi, guillotine Gegard. Guys, the last time Jacare won a decision in the UFC was Francis Carmont, February 15th, 2014. That's crazy. So I'm picking Jacare to win away. He hasn't won in 7 years. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, but as far as DK getting down to that mid-range 8,500, maybe you could stick him in, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. I'll probably have him in like 1 or 2 lineups. Shane Burgos, 8,400. Y'all know how I feel about this one. I favor it heavily to not go to decision. It's lined close, so I'm gonna have a lot of Burgos and Edson on DraftKings. So obviously Burgos 8,400 worth playing. Tucker Lewis. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I guess I'm in here. Okay, we're good. If you're still in here, I appreciate you sticking around. My laptop died, had to plug it back in. Down to Tucker Lutz, 8,300. I mean, I like Tucker Lutz for cash games just because I kind of feel like he's safe to not get finished. I don't think he's going to score high, though. Like, yeah, Kevin Aguilar's been knocked out a couple times, but that's not really what Lutz does. He's more of a grappler, and I kind of feel like he's going to have a hard time, like ragdolling Aguilar. So I feel like the ceiling is limited. At 8,300, he doesn't need to score a whole lot. So I guess Tucker Lutz is an all right DraftKings play. Grundy, 8,200. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, this guy, oh man, he's going to land a lot of takedowns here on Lando, I feel like, in a decision win. So 8,200 is a great price. His lone UFC win, Adnan Armani, he scored over 100. So yeah, Grundy, DraftKings, all about it. And then we got down here to our Pick'em 8,100 a piece fight, Pickett and Wright. Personally, I'm all over the Pickett side. But you could probably play both guys here heavily. Someone's probably going to score high. Someone's probably going to get knocked out. A Jordan Wright has never been past the 6-minute mark of a fight. So good chance this one ends in the first or second round. You're going to want those points. Lando Vannata 8,000. I mean, if he wins, it's probably going to be by knockout. I just don't think it's likely. So I'll stick Lando in a couple lineups. Aguilar 7,900. Not really a big fan of that. I think he loses, and I don't think he would get a finish. So it'd be a low score anyway. Barboza 7,800. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a good chance he knocks out Burgos here. So I like that. Muniz 7,700. That's not bad because he's an underdog that has a decent chance to win. I just don't think he might not score that highly because I think this fight's going to a decision. So I think there's probably better options. Tony Ferguson 7,600. If he wins, like I said, I think it'll be by knockout. So I think Tony is a solid DK play. Chandler 7,500. I mean, you're getting a plus 115 at 7,500 on DraftKings here. I think there's value on Chandler on DraftKings. So yeah, like I said, play both sides in the main event for sure. Vivi Araujo 7,400 when the betting line is close. Like some of these DK salaries are crazy, man. So yeah, I like Araujo. Like I don't think she gets a finish here, but at 7,400, I mean, we only really need 75, 80 points to pay that off. So I feel like she can pay it off even in a decision win. So I love Vivi and DraftKings. Bontorin 7,300. That's an interesting one because those questions about Schnell's chin are always out there. He also has grappling upside. So I actually think Bontorin is not a horrible play on DraftKings either. Sean Soriano 7,100. I mean, I think he's going to lose. I mean, I'll stick him in like one lineup just for a punt. But yeah. Andrea KGB Lee, even though I'm picking her to lose this fight, her being at 7,000 on DraftKings is probably good value. So, especially in cash games, I mean, damn. So, Andrea Lee, yeah, you can play at 7,000. And then Priscilla Cachoeira, the cheapest player in the slate, 6,900. I like that, man. Like that a lot. I mean, firstly, I think that line's very off. Secondly, if she wins, I think she's going to knock out Gina Mazani or TKO. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of ways you can go about DraftKings this week. It's a very fun slate, guys. I appreciate you sticking around. It's a shame I won't be able to watch the fights live, but shit happens. Excited to watch the replay. Excited to hop on the Twitter machine and share my thoughts once I actually get around to watching it. So follow me on Twitter if you're not already, MMA Kelton. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm going to be trying to do these every single card. Hit the like button too, guys. I appreciate that. It just takes 1 second. So that's going to do it for me. Appreciate y'all. Early weigh-in podcast. I saw you in here too. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you guys very much. Y'all have a good one and enjoy the fights on Saturday. It's gonna be a good one.